Morning, good afternoon, good evening, Fabulites. This is Angela with another edition of Notes on the News. It's where I read to you headlines from my news feed and give you my thoughts on the headlines if I have any thoughts. And my thoughts may be based on me being an expert on the subject. They may be based on me just having read the headline, or maybe anything in between. But whatever it is, it's not news. It's just my notes on the news. Let us proceed. I'm Angela and the channel is Be Fabulous You. Welcome back. LeAngelo Ball and UCLA teammates touched down in U.S. after China arrest. So the boys are back, the young men are back from China. I think later on in the news feed we see something where Zero is saying, well, my diplomacy, my skills, my art of the deal is what got them free. So I wonder, he tweeting, if they gonna thank me for their freedom. Give us free, Uncle Trump. The word boy as a derogatory insult toward black men. Am I not a man? Am I not a man? The lynching that almost happened, if not for a mob, a black mob protecting one of their own. Now, this is interesting to me because maybe last week or the week before, and maybe off of the same blog, I saw a story or article, a piece about someone who was lynched but didn't die. And it's kind of like, it kind of gave me pause, because usually when I think of lynching, I think of people dead. Usually when I think of lynching, I think of the white mob. And so when I heard that story of the person who was not dead, who someone tried to lynch him, I think I said on here, the only time I've ever seen that was Shadow Moon on American Gods, where they tried to lynch him and he didn't get lynched. But there was like a whole fantasy aspect to that. So, in the same way that when I think of resistance, or when I think of the enslavement of our people, I feel like there's been an advancement of propaganda that we just went along and we was happy. Yes, sir. We just so happy to, and that of course is not true. And so maybe I'm starting to think maybe this, there was always resistance. I'm not saying everybody resisted everything, but there's a lot more resistance than is publicized, because our resistance does not fit certain people's narratives. So a black group of people saying, no, you're not gonna lynch this person, that doesn't fit the narrative. It don't fit the narrative that I had, but I'm claiming that narrative. I'm reclaiming that narrative of resistance, ongoing resistance, resistance then, resistance now, small resistance, big resistance, ongoing resistance, occasional resistance. We resist, and we've continued to resist. We have always resisted. People resist. Bull. People don't go along with bull. Safety Commission recalls more hoverboards after another fire. Albania cleans up war graves after decades of neglect. I don't really celebrate Veterans Day, but anyway, it made me think, I wonder if there's anybody in this area or in the country or whatever. I'm sure there's somebody somewhere who on Veterans Day goes out and cleans graves, and Memorial Day and stuff like that. LeAngelo Ball and UCA teammates touchdown. Yeah, we already got that. The true story behind Thanksgiving is a bloody struggle, not just for the big turkey. They try to struggle too. It's a bloody struggle for them too, getting killed and eaten. The true story behind Thanksgiving is a bloody struggle that decimated the population and ended with a head on a stick. People resist. Native people resisted, black people resisted, even animals resist. Even an animal want to live and want to live free. So humans want to live and want to live free. Tyrese's ex-wife demands judge to grant mental evaluation. Here's what we know about Serena Williams' secret wedding. I thought she was already married, but I guess they had the baby first and then they get married. It's a whole different world out here. People do things in a different order. What's the woman in that order? On Love and Hip Hop. Is it Love and Hip Hop? I don't know. But y'all know the older. Whose mama is it? Somebody's mama. A new website lets you design custom maps of anywhere in the world. and the results are undeniably cool. No ifs, ands, or buts. Black people shouldn't smoke. So that's butts with two T's. Butts, like cigarette butts. You can tell someone's lying to you by watching their face. Here are 12 dead giveaways. I thought nailed it down with my girl, one of my fellow actresses. If they look to the left, they lying. If they look to the right, they telling the truth. This list of 12 is so complicated. I was like, I don't know how to, and we had figured out, okay, this is the simple system, and now we got 12. And if you look right and to the down, it means one thing. If you look right and up, it means another thing. It's a job trying to figure out if somebody lying. I guess that's not high up on my priority list, I guess. Zimbabwean country profile. So Zimbabwe has had, it sounds like a coup. The person Mugabe has been in leadership for 40 years, and I guess the theory is that he was setting his wife up to take over after him. Zimbabwe army has Mugabe, wife in custody, controls capital. Zimbabwe's 93-year-old president lost his grip on power in the middle of the night, and nobody knows what will happen next. The horror movie Get Out will compete at the Golden Globes as a comedy, and people are furious. So they ain't laughing at that. I was trying to figure out, I'm like, did I laugh during Get Out? I didn't think of it as a horror film is what I was expecting. And there was the comedian, was it Lil Ray? The guy who played the TSA agent. He was, I guess, supposed to be comic relief. I don't know if I really laughed at him. But the person who made the film is not upset about it. But, I guess people, have their thoughts and analysis. And sometimes people be dogging you out and you don't even know you getting dogged out. Bruh. Hold on a second. A Texas State University fraternity pledge has died, rest in peace, continuing the alarming trend of deaths at public university fraternities. Is this a historically black Greek letter organization, or, I'm just curious. This is coming off of Google, Feed Proxy, Business Insider, so I don't know. But whether they black or white or whatever, I'm still sad to hear it in this trend of, hazing people to death. How Oprah is quietly leading the revolution with Queen Sugar on OWN. Oprah, Ava, all of that. They have, one thing I like about the show, or that I think is really interesting, is that every episode is directed by a woman director. They're not all black women, but they're all women. And you hear Miss DuVernay talk about the fact that, these are like talented people who can't get work, who, can't even get work directing an episode of TV. So I guess it adds something to their resume and gives them opportunities. So I don't know what this article is advancing. This is coming off the Griot, but what revolution are they talking about? But I think that the work that that OWN is doing is quite interesting. Like, I haven't kept up with Release, but I really thought that TV show was interesting in terms of humanizing people who are part of the criminal justice system, and also exposing the intensity of that system. And then also, I like Black Love until somebody was like, well, why is all the black women who, got to be sitting around waiting for the man to get right and forgiving the man when he, was wrong, and now he right and now he faithful, huh? And I was kind of like, I don't know. I mean, but then after that, I noticed I didn't really, before I was like, oh, Black Love, Black Love, Black Love. Then after that, it was like I never really found time to watch it again. So I guess it did have an impact on how I perceived it. City of Detroit to plant 10,000 trees over next 3 years. I think trees are great. Mother outraged after teacher allegedly sprayed autistic son with Lysol. Once again, I keep having this question: who do they have up in these schools, and who are these people? I mean, what are they doing? Where do they find these people? They need to be mentally evaluated. Like, a lot of these, we keep hearing these strange stories of all these weird hostile, aggressive, ruthless tactics that these adults employ against children in schools. I mean, Forever 21 says that customers' credit cards may have been stolen. The skills kids have at age 5 determines how successful they'll be, and it has nothing to do with reading or writing. I did skim the article. Now I can't remember. I guess the skill set was social. I don't even remember now. The world's largest pyramid is not in Egypt. It seemed like I skimmed that too, and I don't remember, so this must have been last night. Nearly half of all Americans have high blood pressure. Here are 6 things you can do to reduce your risk. It's funny how you could just change the rules and now all of a sudden half of Americans have high blood pressure. Yesterday we didn't, but today we do. And today, now you got 6 tips for me. Tomorrow you're going to have drugs for me, right? You making my blood pressure go up with this bull. Eve takes over for Aisha Tyler as co-host of CBS The Talk. My mother is like, well, who do you think it's going to be? Because she's like, why do they have an empty chair? We were watching it. And I'm like, because they're announcing the new co-host today. Didn't you see it when they said that yesterday? Aren't you the one that's watching this stuff? I ain't even watching the stuff. I know more about it than you. And she's like, oh, who do you think it's going to be? I'm like, I don't know, maybe Eve, because of all of the people that they had coming through. She was the only one I remembered, but that don't mean anything. That's just, but sure enough, I was right. Yes, sir. Thank you, madam. And that article was kind of talking about the difference between how American children interact versus how Ghanaian children interact. I noticed on this show, which is my new favorite show called Skinny Girl on Transit, I'm going to start reviewing this show soon because it's one of my favorite shows and I'm going to have time. But the employees call people ma. Like, you know, thank you, ma, thank you, sir. They don't say ma and pa. They say ma and sir and auntie. So like they're you know, quote unquote superiors or whatever, like as a sign of respect, you know, they might refer to someone as ma or sir, even when they're like the same age, basically. So I was kind of like, oh, that's interesting. One day she'll darken. Shaniqua Shandai to recur in TNT miniseries. I never heard of One Day She'll Darken. 4 killed in Northern California shooting rampage. And somebody was saying today, are people getting desensitized to shootings? How can we get desensitized to shootings? I feel like I'm desensitized to it. Like, it's just like another day, another shooting. I mean, it's just a lot to process. It's like every time you turn around, somebody is shooting up 2, 5, 10, 21, 500 people. Or, you know, something is killing up a whole bunch of people. And not to say that, you know, I think that people's lives don't matter or are not valuable. It's just like when it's someone that you don't know or someone that you're not connected to, it's difficult to process. It's like it's so many and it seems so senseless, you know. So, I don't know. China frees UCLA basketball players held over shoplifting. They have shoplifting in quotes. Did I read this already? African migrants encounter racism, abuse, death along Libyan path to Europe. I think I did. Thieves dig 25-foot tunnel to rob a bank. Oh yeah, because we talked about the binge watching at work. So that's what I got for this edition of Notes on the Newsfeed. Thank you again for tuning in. I am Angela. The channel is Be Fabulous You. Today is the best day ever. You're number 1. You're the greatest. Remember, like, subscribe, comment, share, subscribe. Hit that button if you're not already a subscriber. We working on 25. We working together on 25. I need to find out how I can subscribe because, I mean, you know, I can't subscribe as myself. I might have to make up some alternate identity. But you could just subscribe under your identity if you're not already subscribed. Today, again, is your day. Be you, be fabulous, you. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous, you.